Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Lessons from the Cockpit. I'm Belinda Sandor. Let's get started. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Lessons from the Cockpit. I'm Belinda Sandor. I'm thrilled you're here with me. Thank you for coming. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, I'm the founder of the VA Connection, where I coach and mentor aspiring and established virtual assistants to create, grow, and scale their business as virtual assistants. And I work with my students in my free online community, my courses, and my coaching programs. And today I'm going to be your host for Lessons from the Cockpit. This is my live stream show that airs every Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. So today we're going to talk about a really important topic, which is why we don't succeed, like what gets in the way of success. And I'd love to hear where you're coming in from. We are streaming live everywhere. We are on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. And if you are watching on YouTube, please click the subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss a thing. We have over 700 videos over on YouTube that are available for you to start your journey now. So please check it out. All right, good. So today we're going to talk about why we don't succeed. And it's a really big topic. And we're going to dive deep into it. And before we do, I'm going to introduce myself. Now, Facebook has made a change to how it works. Oh, actually, look at that. It looks like I can see Gwen from on Facebook. So they made a change. I thought yesterday where I wasn't able to see the comments of people on Facebook. So if you're watching on Facebook, if you would please let me know where on Facebook you're watching from so I can troubleshoot what's going on. But as of yesterday, they took away the ability to live stream with third-party applications in Facebook groups, which is kind of crazy. Okay, good. And also add any questions that you have so that I can answer them for you. All right, awesome. All right, so this is me and my daughter 13 years ago, in 2010, and I was in this kind of crazy place in my life. I had a business that failed. It was successful in many ways, but not financially, and I took a lot of risks for it to be successful in the over the course of the years. You know, I put a lot of things on credit card. I didn't take care of my taxes. My finances were kind of a mess. Definitely went down. And through the course of that, I decided to get a divorce. So I had to move a whole bunch of times. It was just really crazy. And the thing was, I wanted to turn my life around, and I needed to figure out how to get back on track. Before this period, I had jobs. I was doing really well. I was a homeowner, all the things. But when I went out and started my own business, I hit a bump. I hit a really big bump. And so I had to figure out what I was going to do next. And I knew that getting a job was not going to be the solution because it wasn't going to allow me to be the mother that I wanted to be, have the flexibility, the freedom. And I felt that I could make more money on my own if I were able to figure out how. And so I hired a mentor, or I hired a coach. I found a mentor, and I started leaning in. And what I wanted to do was go back to my roots, which was administrative work. I really liked, helping people, crossing things off my list, all the things that an administrative person does. And so I just, my coach and my mentor specifically told me, you have to tell everybody you know. You have to tell everybody you know. So I thought, okay, here I go. So scared, worried about what other people are going to think, because the people closest to me told me that they thought I was making a mistake. They thought I was making a mistake to try another business. I'd already failed. I should get a job. I should just move on. But I didn't want to do that. And so I listened to myself probably for the first time instead and said, no, you know what? If I look back and I don't go for this and I stay in this big smeary mess that I'm in, I'm going to be really upset with myself. So I'm going for it. And if it doesn't work, fine, but I'm going for it. And so I took the lessons that I learned from the business that failed and brought them forward and made some corrections. And we're going to talk about what those were today. All right. Good. So I told everybody I knew about my business, and I started to get clients. I got my first client at the school bus stop. One of the dads said, "What, what's new?" I said, "I'm starting a business," and I didn't realize it, but he had just gone out on his own a few months before, and he hired me, and I paid his bills, and I downloaded or installed. Back then, we installed software on computers. Installed software on his employees' computers. Handled his QuickBooks, things like that, things I already knew how to do. And he was so grateful to have the help. And the next client I got at a wedding. I met someone at a wedding. He gave me his business card. And the whole thing is that building a business is incremental, and it's a little bit over time, and it doesn't happen overnight, thank goodness, because while I was building the business and bringing in clients, I was also figuring out I need an EIN, I need a bank account, I need a website, all of these things. And so it gives you time to bring the money in and to set the business up all at the same time. All right. So the big takeaway here in terms of getting clients is that you don't know where they're coming from. And I want you to stop trying to prospect, trying to look for people who need VAs and try to convince them to hire you, because it really doesn't work that way. It's so much easier when we just lean into it. And so from that place of, really coming from nothing, like I said, getting divorced and wanting to take care of my daughter and wanting to be a Girl Scout leader and wanting to have the flexibility, I knew I had to do something different. So I started, like I said, working with a coach and a mentor. I made huge changes to my mindset. I started keeping my word to myself, which was enormous, because I didn't want to step out of my comfort zone. So every time I needed to do something that was uncomfortable, I'd say, I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm going to do that tomorrow. And I stopped doing that. I leaned into it every single day. And I still do, because there are things that are not comfortable that I know that I want to do to take a next step in my life, even though it doesn't feel comfortable. And so by doing that every day, day after day, I built a successful business, earning $70,000 the first year and $100,000 a year for the next 10 years. And the systems that I developed and the methods that I use to create that success for myself is what I teach in the VA Connection. And I would love to teach you too. So fast forward, there's 2 fast forwards now. So this is my family now. This is my husband, who is amazing. I can't even tell you how much work he's done to get us to this place where we are now. And my finances are handled, no minimum, no scraping by with minimum payments. There's a bright future. And I was there for Emily, and I handled the back taxes, and, all of the things got put back into their boxes, which is where I am the most comfortable. And I can breathe again. And so this is us on our wedding day. And I got married at 60. And what's really interesting about that I didn't notice for a while was that at 50, I thought it was too late. I thought it was too late for me. I thought that I was just going to be paying minimum payments. I wasn't going to be able to come out from what I was doing, where I brought myself. And I thought that I was going to just struggle for the rest of my life. And it's just not true. It's just not true. And it all happens in here, right? It all happens in here. So this is us on our wedding day. And a lot of you heard that we just bought this house, and it's very exciting. We have the chickens down here now from Connecticut. We moved their chicken coop down this weekend. And as of last, let's see, what's today? This is Tuesday. As of Sunday at 2:00 in the afternoon, none of our belongings are still in Connecticut. We took it's either 11 or 12 trips, bringing everything down. We've been doing it it seems like forever, since January, the end of January, and we're finally here. So we're going to be home again this weekend, second weekend since we started the moving process. And I got to tell you, it's such a relief to both of us, such a relief. And the thing that I want to explain is how I got from 50 and a mess to here at 63 is what we're going to talk about today. All right. That's what we're going to talk about today. Okay. So, all right. So this has probably happened to all of you, and this is kind of interesting. Have you ever been on an airplane and the flight attendant says, in the event of emergency, in the event of a drop in air pressure or whatever it is in the cabin, you know, put on your oxygen mask before you help anyone else. Have you guys heard that? Yeah. And there's a reason for this. And it's because if you don't take care of yourself first, you risk being unable to help others. So think about that for a minute, because we are all fast to rush in and help others. But if we literally don't take care of ourselves first, we can't take care of others. That's a big mindset shift. And I want you to really take that to heart and really even like write that down. All right. If you don't take care of yourself first, you risk being unable to help others. Now, when working with aspiring and established virtual assistants who haven't achieved the success that they crave, I find that they do the opposite of what the flight attendant instructs, right? They give every bit of energy to clients and neglect themselves and their businesses. And what happens though is instead of thriving, they end up, barely breathing. And here's the big thing. So people have been raised, at least, I can't speak for everyone, but definitely in my generation and generations before me, people have been raised to think that putting their needs before others is selfish. How many of you have heard that, right? Or how many of you believe that, right? Putting your needs before others is selfish. It's so deeply ingrained. And if that's you, I want you to consider making a mindset shift, because you can't grow a thriving, successful business when you ignore your own needs. Now, when I was running my business before Rocket Girl Solutions, the one that failed, the one that closed, I was not taking care of my needs. Not taking care of my needs. I wasn't taking care of my health. I wasn't taking care of eating good food. I wasn't taking care of managing my weight. I wasn't doing any of those things. I wasn't sleeping well. And it was all because I kept pushing for the success, not realizing that I didn't have internally what it took, because I left myself out of the equation. Okay. And this doesn't make sense to me because, but it works. That's the problem. It doesn't make sense, because what I would do is I would, grab a bag of almonds out of the pantry, and that's what I would eat all day. I wouldn't actually, eat vegetables, or make sure I had, I would eat bagels, which are delicious, but they don't really bring any, they're not helping your body in any way, really. And I would eat food that was fast and tasted good, or driving through Taco Bell, McDonald's, all the things, just to like not be hungry, and not realizing that by not taking care of my body, that I wasn't taking care of my mind and everything else. And I just kept thinking that I needed more work to get done to hit the success. And that was the problem. Right. So here's the thing. So there are three things. There's four things I want you to think about in order to be successful. You need to build a support system. You need to surround yourself with like-minded people who support your desire to have a successful business. You need to find an expert with experience who has what you want to guide you and teach you. I want you to think about having an accountability partner, someone you check in with every Monday morning, every Sunday night, every Friday. What are you going to do? No kidding. What are you going to do? And it's really important that you write it down and you look at that list and you say to yourself, no, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. It's so easy to get pulled. And you have to learn to say to the people in your life, yes, I can help you. How about 3:00? Or as soon as I'm done with work today, I can help you. And not keep jumping up and down like a jack in the box every time someone asks you to do something. You can't build a business doing that. So surround yourself with people who are like-minded, and you might have to shift your circle. Every single person that was close to me when I started Rocket Girl Solutions told me not to start my business. They told me not to name it Rocket Girl, including my former husband. And I'm not surrounded by those people anymore. It's not, we didn't have some big blow up or some big thing. Friendships have seasons, and our season faded away. And now I hang out with successful online entrepreneurs who are what I call up to something. It's exciting. It's fun. We support each other. It's really great. And you have that too in our community, right? So take advantage of that. The second thing is you have to set boundaries, right? You have to set boundaries. It's not up to your family and your clients to respect your boundaries. It's up to you to respect yourself enough to maintain your boundaries. I've heard VAs say in the past, I need new clients. They're not respecting my boundaries. That it's not their job. It's not their job. So the thing is that when and this goes for children too, when you have clients, when you have kids, all the things, and every time they ask you to do something, you jump up and you do it, they come to expect that. So you're not being successful because you're jumping. They now expect you to jump and they're disappointed when you don't. It's not a good situation, right? It's not a good situation. So set your boundaries. And I don't mean in some kind of hard way like a wall. I just mean, oh yeah, I'm not doing that right now. Like it doesn't have to be a lot of energy. It just has to be, here's an example. My daughter wants me to read her lease. Or actually, I asked her if I could read her lease. She was fine signing it, but I said, "Can I please read it?" And she sent it to me, and I texted her, but I didn't do it at 8 o'clock this morning because I had other things that had needed to be handled beforehand in order for me to be successful today. So it's just as simple as that. So the third thing is, and I wrote a newsletter about this, and it went out yesterday. You have to teach the voices in your head to be kind. You definitely do. Everyone has a voice in their head. It's completely normal. Everybody has it. It might be your voice. It might be someone else's voice. Mine, my voice goes back and forth between multiple people, and pushing the voice away or trying to ignore it will not make it go away. It'll actually make it louder and stronger. But what you want to do is you want to make friends with it, and you want to teach it how you want to be spoken to. And there's lots of information over on the blog about that. All right. Now, here's the thing that that a lot of people don't do, and it's so important. You have to eat good food and exercise every day. You really do. You need you need energy, you need focus, and that requires proper nutrition and moving your body. And it doesn't have to be a big deal. Just get outside every day. And if exercise is new to you, start by walking a mile. A mile is not a long distance. You don't have to go fast, right? But build on it over time. And the 4 miles that I walk every day, it changes everything. I either listen to a podcast, so I put someone else's voice in my head, which is very helpful, or I listen to music. Sometimes I just listen to the sounds of my neighborhood, and it's such a mind clearing thing. And I know that when I first started and when I had the business that failed, I refused to do that. It's like, I don't have time for that. That has to wait. I was going to do that when I had enough money, when I was successful, when the whole when thing. And, when never happened. It never happened until I started eating good food and moving my body. So, this whole concept of the business, it's really a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's about putting routines in place that support you. It's all about putting routines in place to support you. And it's about surrounding yourself with people who can help you and finding peace inside of you. That's really what it's about. It's not about Shopify and, setting up YouTube channels and what does your LinkedIn profile say? It's really about that. And the other things will come as a result of finding that peace. So I invite you to think about this and figure out what can you do today in each one of those areas. Eating good food and exercising, teaching the voice in your head how to speak to you, setting boundaries, and building a support system. What can you do today? And put it on your calendar. Put it on your calendar so that every morning you think about, okay, what am I doing today? How am I going to move in that direction? And over time, success is incremental, right? It's like a little bit over time. If you can, I've heard this recently, I don't remember who said it, but it's all about a 1% increase, right? Get 1% better today. Get 1% better tomorrow. It's not some big giant, busting a move. It's just 1%. Get outside, walk to your driveway, down your driveway, come back, Yeah. Sandra says, yes, being healthy in mind and body affects so many things. It's incredible. It's incredible. And, I have to say, there was during our move, we every weekend we were in the car. And at some point I just kind of surrendered to, Wendy's. Like, okay, like because eating good food, it takes planning. It takes going to the store and getting it. It's much easier to eat bad food. And probably in the last month, maybe 5 weeks, I don't remember, but I said to myself, no, we're not doing that anymore. We're not driving through. It's probably been a month. We're not driving through. I found out that Chick-fil-A, which I never really ate at, they have a crunchy kale salad that's delicious, and they have grilled chicken nuggets or whatever they call them, right? So Greg can have his spicy burger, bun, French fries, all the things, and I can get a kale salad and grilled nuggets and stay on my plan while being convenient. There was ways to do that. Chipotle is another place that's great that you can eat healthy food. And when it's fast food, and I stayed on my plan and I achieved my goal, and I'm back where I was before the stress of the move happened, and started, I should say. And I feel great. And I've been exercising again. I'm back in my routine. It was spotty for a while because I was in the car, and so now we're not in the car all the time anymore, and it feels really good. And I feel much clearer, and my brain is working good, better. And even though I have so much to do in the house, I feel less overwhelmed. So don't underestimate the power of, some good food. All right. Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it. I know some of you are new and just joining our community. You've been in a recent training with me, or started following us on social media. So check out our online classroom. It's called the VA Connection. We're on Facebook. We post every single day. We have a wonderful community in there with our ambassadors and our community manager. I'm in there as well, and we live stream in their training at least twice a week. So check that out for sure. All right. So join me for our next episode of Lessons from the Cockpit right here next week, and I'll be watching for you. So until then, Belinda Sandor signing off.